So we're going to work with some type. What I did is I grabbed the type tool, and you can see that there are several type tools, and we will be dealing with this in exercise 8, where we create an invitation for wiener dog races. Okay? So I'm going to grab the normal type tool. I clicked, I drug out a box, typed in the name, and now I'm going to my character panel, and I'm going to see what different options I have. I want something kind of grandiose, and I'm not really seeing it. So let's look for a font and go through how to install a font. I don't think collateral damage is exactly what I'm trying to say with this. So maybe Corbel, maybe. That's a little more proud, if you will. So let's just leave that there. And we're going to go back to Google and to Window. And then we're going to look up free Mac fonts. It'll probably take us to DaFont or FontSpace. There's a ton of them. Let's see if we can go to, I like DaFont. And then you've got several different options. And some of these first options are pretty great. So maybe we just pick the recently added font. This is free for personal use. If you want to use it for something that'll be for resale, then you're going to need to donate to the author and read about some of the licensing. If you have any questions, you can always contact these guys, and they will give you some more information on how to do that to make sure that you're not creating something that you are going to get sued for, right? So click download. It will download as a zip file. Click on that. Shut this down. And it went straight to my desktop. Opened up as a folder. And the file I'm looking for is the TTF. So I'm going to select both of those. Double click, and you'll see in that folder is information about the licensing, so you can always check that. Hit install font, and you'll notice it opens up Font Book, and now that is installed in there. That's all you had to do. And did I hit both of them? Perfect. Okay, so now we have 2 Mademoiselle fonts, and I would save that font in my project folder so that I could reference it if I needed it later. So I'm going to select all of that, go here, and down, I believe it was Mademoiselle. What was the name of the font? I said Mademoiselle Camille. Sometimes you have to restart the program, but usually it loads it straight away. I could be looking right at it. Sometimes it loads at the very bottom.
Is there like a control mode?
Yeah, we can look up MADE. There it is. Perfect. Make that much larger. Wow.
Did you do all caps?
I did all caps, which may be something that I regretted immediately. Let's bring that down a little. And let's consider just using maybe his first and his last name, what his mom calls him. That's pretty excessive. Now this would operate beautifully as just a design, but if you want to be able to read this, that might not be the font you're looking for.
Just do it regularly, like a big double.
Yeah, there you go. So let's just we're going to make that W a little larger and the H a little larger. Okay? And then we'll get rid of part of his middle name. Put a little space in there, and then we will call it a day. And you can see that, so that is going to be our pattern. Now, you can change sizes, you can rotate, you can have all sorts of different things happening. I say that is what I prefer you do, is play with scale and size and color on 1 or 2 designs rather than making a lot of smaller designs. When you're done, hit done, and then let's go to a new artboard. Grab a rectangle, draw it out, and instead of filling it, we're going to fill it with Walter Hill. Okay, not the most exciting. We can probably make more exciting, which is up to you. But here's the thing. That type, Walter Hill, when you send that to a printer, or when you turn it into me even, I'm not going to have this font on my computer. So you've got a couple of things to think about. Okay? Either when you send things to the printer, you send along the font in the folder, or even more simple, you select the font, and when you know everything is spelled correctly and you're all ready to go, and go up to the type menu, which you can't probably see the type part, but it's the type menu, create outlines. And now that is no longer editable type, but it's just shape, right? And also this is kind of cool because you can go to Object to Ungroup, and if you wanted to, you could select different letters and get kind of fun with it, right? Because now they're independent. This really kind of stinks if you've like spelled something wrong and you need to do it again. But if you want that H to be much larger, you could do something like that. If you wanted to zoom in and change the actual look of the letter, you can, because these are all anchor points now. And you can select the Direct Select tool and grab one of these anchor points and move it. So you are in this way kind of customizing your font. Maybe you want to hit the pen tool and minus a couple of these anchor points and drastically change the look of it. Okay? This is kind of a fun thing to do. Right? You can change it, you can add more anchor points, but then it becomes completely uniquely yours.
So you can use that for licensing purposes then after, if you do every one?
I think after you change it a certain percent, and I could look up what that percent is, but if you do want to use it for resale, I always say check the licensing. Typically it's something really clear, used for selling. You have to pay for the licensing. Personal, it's free. And how you can find out more about the licensing is through the website, right? A lot of times they'll have the author or their additional website. Maybe they just want a donation, but it's going to save you the hassle of having to go back and deal with like legal fees, and that's not what I want for you. So to refresh, we are using the Pattern Maker, and we are, regardless of what font you're using, if you are using the most boring font in the world, like the font that comes with every single computer, Helvetica, right? If you were using Helvetica, and what is this? Wait, where did it go?
It's too big.
It's too big. That red plus right there is telling us that we have overset text. Meaning we need to, see that red plus? Make it a little bigger. Even if you use this, when you turn it into me, I want type, menu, create outlines. So that I don't open it up and it doesn't ask me for font substitutions. Because as you design something, especially for the next exercise, the font is going to be so important to what you're doing. All right? Okay. So any questions on what I'm looking for from you today? 8 to 10 different art boards with 1 or 2 simple designs where you change the color, the scale, the size. Okay? All right.